Hi everyone. We had recently launched custom field filters with various reports in Descara. Now we can use these custom field filters in a number of scenarios. Let's look at one of such scenarios in this session today. So let's say we have multiple types of expenses depending on the situation in which we are expending. So one such use case is that I may be using the same type of expense, let's say fuel expense or travel expense, or any kind of expense related to material or renovation, uh, under the heading called as capital expense, or it may be a regular expense, right? So for example, if I'm in the renovation industry, wherein I buy out houses, I renovate them, and then I give them on further for rent. So in such use cases, while the renovation work is going on, we tag these expenses as capital expenses, right? And once this is given out on rent to a tenant, they are regular expenses. So the chart of accounts for these can be created under accounting. So these are the various expense categories. So under chart of accounts, you can see something called as travel expense. So this is one of the expense categories that we will be, trying to test out in this use case. So let's quickly see how we can create the custom field and tag it to the expense transactions. We go to settings, go to custom fields. Now I've quickly created this already. So let's see how this is created. We name it as type of expense. It will be a multiple selection drop down menu. I create two drop down. One is capital expense, the other is regular expense. On the next tab, I select only the expense transaction, right? So if you're also going to be passing, let's say, an expense bill for this or regular bill for this, you can also tag them to these transactions. But in my case, I would only be passing this using an expense transaction. I click on save changes, right? I go to accounting. I click on expense. Let's create a new expense. Let's say direct expense. I select the contact. So let's say in this case would be the fuel supplier. So I'm paying from bank. So this is just for this uh, demo purpose. You can select this as credit card or anything. Let's add travel expenses over here. Right. Let's say 6,000. Right. Now this is the main use case. So we click on more fields and we tag the selected custom field. Now you can see I have a custom field called projects also. Let's say I do not want to use that right now. Let's say this is a capital expense for me. I'll tag capital expense over here. I'll click on save and save. Now my transaction has been saved, right? Now, which out of these four expenses is a capital expense, right? So if I want to find that, I'll click on filters, add custom field filters. I'll say type of expense. I want to see only the capital expense. I'll click on capital expense, save. Now I can see only those expenses which were capital expenses. How do I confirm that? So we have another option, view custom fields for any transaction. You can see the type of expense is capital expense, and the same in this case. Right. While this would be useful in filtering the expense screen, so let's see how we can apply the same filters for other reports. Now, let's say at the end of a quarter or a month or an year, if I want to quickly look at my P&L statement and just look at all my income versus the capital expense that I have incurred. So I can go to filters, add custom field. I'll say type of expense again. I'll say capital expense. I'll click on save, and all those transactions in which my expense was capital expense will get highlighted over here, right? So if you remember, this was the same amount that we had seen under accounting expenses also, right? So this is 7,500. If you go to your expenses screen, apply the filters, let's look at it again. Sorry, type of expense. Right, so 7,500, the same amount. So this is one use case in which you can use our custom fields and apply filters using the custom fields on various reports and get the analytics as per your requirement. Thank you.